8 minutes before 7 on the Power Breakfast. So the High Court in Durban has heard that some of the social media posts that the MK Party Member of Parliament, Duduzile Zuma Sambodla, had deleted had now been recovered. This was the evidence of media law expert Emma Sadler, or Sadler, how do you pronounce him? Sadler, sorry. Anyway, this in Ms. Zuma's previously heard, or rather in Ms. Zuma Sambula's trial on charges of terrorism stemming from 2021 unrest. The court previously heard from a police expert that Ms. Zuma Sambula had deleted some of her posts after the violence that broke out. Ms. Sadler, though, told the court one recovered video shows a person shooting at an election post of ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa. A defense advocate, Dalimpo, objected to these recovered videos being played in court, saying they did not receive them in time. Let's speak to Anthony Boucher, who's National Head of Cybercrime and Forensic Divisions, the Triple S Specialist Investigators. Good morning to you, Mr. Boucher, and thank you for your time.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity.
All right, so let's start first with from the technical side of things. Let's start to understand how social media and all of these things work. You know, people tend to think that you can just post stuff, delete it, and then you're out of the woods. But now we are learning that they can be recovered. Just speak to us about what's involved in that and under what circumstances deleted social media posts or any other platform can be recovered.
Yes, well, look, social media, just like many of the web platforms, work on databases, which generates billions of queries a day. And in the end, nothing is ever completely deleted. I mean, that's why that the saying goes that, the internet is written in ink. It's forever. So what happens is the processes on recovery is actually quite simple. It's not that complicated. I mean, these companies like X, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, they are basically obligated to keep data on their servers for at least 30 to 180 days. That's even after deletion. And another thing is that remember, anything you post online leaves a form of metadata, meaning that people share posts, people download content they find interesting, and they'll go and post it on other platforms themselves. So you really have no control over how far something can go that you do post online. And once you delete it, it's not to say that it's even been deleted. And in specific instances, law enforcement can approach these companies like X and Facebook, and they can, through a court order, simply request that specific information. And the information can then be either retained on the servers for a specific time frame. Let's say, for instance, a court case that's ongoing. It can be retained and it can be preserved. And they will simply hand over the data to law enforcement. And then that specific data can then be used against you, yes.
And when it comes to, okay, as you say, it's almost as simple as what you describe, that they can be pulled from, these companies can all access all the stuff that we think has been deleted. But, often with video evidence and all of that, that becomes a little bit more tricky. From an authentication point of view, the fact that it has just come straight out of, from the concerned platform, whether it be Twitter or Facebook, that I'm assuming is that enough to authenticate it? And then how different is it when it comes to dealing with video footage and that sort of thing?
It's not necessarily that much different. I mean, as I said before, any form of media that you do post, whether it be text or a photo or video or audio, it leaves metadata. And remember that, as I said, it gets stored on databases, which is basically used to query the information. So whenever the information is pulled from the platforms, it's basically time stamped and date stamped, and it's got all of the necessary metadata with it to basically put together the whole evidence package, and bring the information, how can I say, to court in a way that the evidence has been preserved in its original form in the first place, and secondly, that the chain of custody of the evidence is completely shown. So yes, it's very valid.
Let me ask you what is, in essence, more of a legal question. I don't know whether you can answer it, but here, when in terms of deciding this case, whether she was indeed guilty of terrorism or incitement, incitement to violence and that sort of thing, to what extent is that a function of the number of followers that she has? Because you could say that if I am on social media and I post something to my 10 followers, that can even, however outrageous and wild that may be, like maybe even urging people to kill, with my 10 followers, can I really be deemed to have been inciting violence or terrorism, for that matter?
I would say that look, in the first place, if you are a public figure, for instance, and even a political figure, with the amount of followers that she does have, which the last time I checked, it was at about 350,000 followers on X. So, remember, and that's one thing that people need to realize, is that when you do have followers, whether it be 10 or 10 million, you do get radical people out there. Some people, you might post something that you mean or you deem as a joke at that specific instance.
Yeah.
And, but there are radical people out there that do want, they do want the approval of the people they are following. They do want to, they do want to please the people they're following. It sounds strange, but you do get it. We see it every day on social media. And what happens then is, to prove their loyalty, they might go to certain extents, to actually please this person or to get recognition from this person that they are following. And that can be very dangerous. And
so intention becomes irrelevant in that case, what you're saying.
Most definitely, yes. And remember, there are smart ways to dictate to people what to do. I can make a completely innocent joke, and I can have a hidden message behind it. And I can give you a straightforward example. If I was to, let's say I have 300,000 followers on X or Facebook or wherever, and I was to go and I post a video or even just a written post saying that I don't necessarily want Anthony Boucher to die, but I wouldn't be completely upset if he did.
Wow.
That's a weird way to say it, and it might sound funny to a lot of people, but you might just get that one group of radical followers that say, you know what, he wants this guy to die. Let's see if I can help him get it done. And then you have a whole different situation there. So people have to be responsible with the way they manage their followers in the first place. And they must remember that, especially if they are a form of a public figure or something, that they're a form of an influencer on social media. And the way you influence people can definitely be positive or negative.
Fascinating. Thank you so much for that insight. Anthony Boucher, National Head of Cybercrime and Forensic Divisions at Triple S Specialist Investigators. I thank you for your time.
Thanks for the opportunity.